I went running around a little too much yesterday. Still under the weather, but a whole lot better than I was. Man, I don't know what kind of dang beetle that thing is, but that joker looks like it might create its own weather pattern if it flew by. Tornado coming off the wings. I see you, Milo. Anyway, I was reading a lot of emails from you guys and comments and things like that. And I appreciate all the well wishes, by the way, but I always get video ideas. Well, not always, but a lot of times I'll get video ideas just from the emails and comments and things like that I get. And there's been a pattern since I got here, and I fall into the category of what I'm about to talk about, but talking about, I guess, having self-respect as a man is always going to be important, always has been important. And I don't think that we talk about it amongst each other enough anymore, or maybe never in my lifetime. But I think it's time to start having that conversation, because it seems to be that the pattern that I see with a lot of men, especially men coming over to the Philippines or Thailand or just, who's been through a relationship, or a bad relationship, I should say. It's obvious that a lot of men feel like, what's the purpose or what's the point? I think the first time that it crossed what I'm talking about, crossed my mind, I was watching Chris Rock. He was doing, I don't know if it was his most recent comedy show, but it's been a long time now, but he had stated, it might even have been an award show or something, but he said something that resonated with me. He was like, men don't receive unconditional love under no circumstances. Only children, dogs, and women receive unconditional love without any expectation, regardless. And it seems to be spot on, because men don't receive, it doesn't seem, at least since I've been alive, and I can't say that that's 100% true, because I see the way that my mother loves my stepfather. It's unconditional, because he's in a bad way right now, and she still takes care of him more than what most women would do, put it that way. He don't even really know for sure who she is at times. And she's still there for him daily, which is crazy. And, well, not crazy, but very admirable, but at the same time, rough, hard pill to swallow. But hopefully I can find something like that one day. And hopefully you guys can too. Hey, Ika. Hey there. Hey there. But in order to find something like that, you got to be able to, or we, I should say, not you, but we have to be able to have a little bit of self-respect. And it's hard to do these days, because a lot of times, whether we realize it or not, we've been trained, the men, especially if you're coming from a Western country, in my opinion, we've been trained to lead with our wallet, because it seems to be the only thing that has been spoken out loud that women are interested in, you know what I mean? Other than the obvious things, mostly they talk about money. Of course they want you. You also have to be tall and rich and handsome, but the majority is something to do along the lines with money. And men are fed up everywhere. And it's obvious as can be, because they're finally waking up and being like, nah, I ain't giving you no money. I mean, these girls have got prices for what they expect their first date to be and things like that. That's crazy. As crazy as can be. And I think, fortunately, because I don't know if because I'm just dumb as can be, or I don't follow anything, like I don't really keep track of many trends. I watch the trends after they become a train wreck, and I'm like, holy cow, that was a trend, like the eating Tide Pod stuff. But anyway, I didn't even, this is how behind I am and how much I've just worked. I didn't even realize that OnlyFans was a thing. I mean, I have for years. I've known it's a thing now, but I was late. I was probably a few years late. I was like, man, that's a great idea. they can make some money doing that, you know. But I didn't realize how large of a group of girls that were willing to do that as an income. And that's fine and all, you know, get your money, as they say. But we can't expect those kind of girls to ever have any dignity, no matter what. No matter, I mean, you can forgive and forget and all that stuff. That's good. Forgiveness is going to be the key to all of us in the future, I have a feeling. But right now, I think men got to have some self-respect, and we supposed to lead. You know, we supposed to be natural leaders, and I think most of us are at heart, but we've been trained not to. I don't really know. I'd never have a script or anything. I'm just shooting from the hip. But I got one of my comments had got me, and this was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I don't know. Days are running together right now, and good God, it's hot right here. I think I'm gonna walk out here in the shade. Hold on. All right, that should be a little bit better right there. Oh yeah, out of the sun, out here on this ocean breeze, not too shabby. Oh, the dogs done heard me. Here they come. Hey there, puppies. Hey there, poison. What you doing? What you got? I think you're carrying a dang bone. It is a bone. Anyway, I got a comment, and it was totally, you know, good-spirited, nothing wrong with it. But I thought about the comment afterward, and I commented on his comment. But anyway, the guy was like, man, April's a good one. You better hang on to her tight, because you know a lot of these expats will try to snatch her up. And I was like, you know, and that's true. I mean, not really true that they would try to snatch her up, but I got to thinking about it, and I was like, if you worry about that someone can snatch up your girl, she's not your girl. And internally, you already know that. Like, that thought doesn't cross my mind, you know, hasn't crossed my mind until he said it, you know. But I've never had that mentality, so I don't really know if there are guys that are running around with that mentality. Like, if you see like a guy and a girl together, I think it's internal with all men, whether we admit it or not. We all mutually know that we do not need a woman. We do not need a woman. Never have, never will. That's just the way that we're built. We were designed to lead. We were designed to work and provide and protect. That's what we're here for. It's instinctual. And women complete us, whether we want to admit it or not, but we've never needed them. We want them. And that simple thing right there, I believe, for me, I can only speak for me. You know, I'm no psychiatrist. I'm definitely no love guru, but I did have a successful relationship for 30 years, and I've managed to stay friends even after the fact, you know, and still have genuine, you know, love in my heart for her. She's the mother of my children, and you know, that's an important relationship, or it should be for all of us. We can carry that hate, like whenever I mean, naturally, it's hard to forgive anything like that right there, but sometimes you have to for yourself. Like if somebody's done you wrong, anybody, man or woman, and you're carrying a bunch of hate in your heart for whatever it is that they done to you in the past, or for whatever reason, or even if you're looking for revenge, you're just letting them occupy space in your mind, you know. What they say, they're living rent-free in your mind. It's true, man. And it took me years and years and years to realize that and get over that too. And I still struggle with that on a daily basis. Fortunately, man, I think part of the reason why maybe my success on YouTube, and maybe because of the way that things are turning out for me here in the Philippines, I don't think it would matter where I went, just because of the way my attitude and my mentality have changed. I look for the positive now. There's nothing, as men, as people designed to lead. If you've been through enough, having enough life experience, you know, I can't say that there's any way to gain the ability to just, you know, overlook things, or not really overlook things, but to accept the things that you can't change. So if you can accept those things, it becomes easy. You know what I mean? It becomes easy to be like, okay, well, might as well not worry about that because that's, you know, out of my control. You know, they say here in about 2 days or whatever, the big asteroid 3I Atlas is going to be the closest to the sun. And all this, I was watching TikTok. I've been doing a whole lot of scrolling. I haven't watched much long form content because I've just been sick. But I've been scrolling through TikTok and YouTube shorts, even Facebook Reels, just watching all kind of stuff. And that seems to be the topic of the day. And everybody's got their theories of what's going to happen and things like that. And it's a cool topic, you know what I mean? It is interesting for sure. But at the same time, it's like I say about all the stuff, you know, what can you do? Ain't no use worrying about it. We can hope that it's something good, and if it's not, it may not be anything. But the point is, let me stay on topic, which is hard for me to do. I got 1,000 things I meant to say, and I probably won't say any of them. But basically, if someone can, if you feel in your heart, regardless if it's true or regardless if it happens, if you're with someone and your concern is about other men looking at your girl or even flirting with your girl, if you are willing to flirt with another man's girl, that's highly disrespectful. And it's part of the reason why women see us the way that they see us. So if you're one of those dudes, man, you're a part of the problem of women. You're on team non-traditional because men used to respect each other. Like that was something like, it was kind of like a no-brainer amongst men because the way that most men organize, like we're natural. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that show with, I think his name's Brett Bear or something like that, where they had they put a group of men and a group of women on the island, and the men like immediately chose a hierarchy, immediately started getting things done, and the women were just scattered. Nobody wanted to lead, or everybody wanted to lead, I should say. Men naturally fall in line and will allow other men that's probably good at whatever that thing is, do that thing. We've understood how to work together to accomplish a larger mission for a long time. So it should be like instinctual for you to not even want another man's woman. And honestly, what we need to start doing as men, and I've seen some young guys that are doing this, to where, you know, if the woman's flirting with you, snitch on her, tell her boyfriend. I mean, for real. I've seen a little video where this girl, she was running around behind her boyfriend's back on Tinder, and somehow or another he found out about it and done rented a hotel room, and him and the guy she was flirting with on Tinder done became friends, and they went to the hotel room together. And you may have seen the video, but she was shocked whenever she popped up. But that's the kind of stuff, you know, that's a real dude. That's, you know, that's some solid man stuff right there. And that's stuff to be respected. That's why that's the topic of this video, is us respecting each other and ourselves. There was a trend going on TikTok a while back about men helping each other. And it was helping guys pay their bills, you know, get operations, take care of sick kids and all kind of stuff. And that was like really heartwarming to me. You know, I mean, that's good stuff. That's the kind of stuff that we're capable of doing. I mean, think about it, fellas. Regardless if it hasn't happened in our lifetimes, we come from the kind of men that can develop nations, you know, but none of us as a singular person can do it alone. Our strength has been able to unite and work together. And I think we have allowed too many outside opinions for too long to blur, you know, what's really going on, what's really important, what we should be doing. And it seems as if women depend on us en masse, to me. I mean, you know, this is just my opinion. As always, I don't know if I'm right. I don't have a clue. But it seems to be, I have pretty decent luck with women. And I'm definitely not the most handsome man in the world. But I think it's my attitude that, or not necessarily my attitude, maybe it is my attitude. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but I can say I've never really been one, even whenever I was a teenager, I wasn't very interested in girls. No, you know, I didn't swing the other way by no means, but I'm just saying I would rather go play basketball or ride dirt bikes than spend my time hanging out with a girlfriend, even at a young age. Even when other boys were like already doing the dating thing and stuff like that. You know, to me, unfortunately, it was only, for me, it was just fun, you know, give me about 2 minutes of your time and I would move on my way. And I'm counting time to get undressed and dressed. You know how it was when you was young. But anyway, that was about it, unfortunately. And then when I finally did fall in love, the reason I fell in love because my wife was the first girl that I really noticed. Like I actually seen in a way to where, dang, I could hang out with her. I might could even ride a dirt bike with her on the back, or I might, but she was the first one that caught my attention. And the reason that she had caught my attention because she had self-respect. And that's very important. And I think that if we started, instead of just looking at the girl's curves only, I mean, you know, that's important as well, but a girl that maintains herself says a lot about herself. But nowadays, I think we have to start telling each other, that's the reason I'm making this video. We have to start telling each other the truth about, sometimes we're blinded. So if you have a friend that you see is blinded by a girl who probably doesn't have good intentions, even if he gets upset at you at the moment, we need to start telling them, you know, we can't tell them what to do, but, you know, just approach it, you know, with kid gloves and just tell the truth. Because some of the guys that send me emails, I don't know how to respond. I want to respond like, man, are you crazy? But, you know, I think about that and you're like, man, everybody wants love, including myself, but it's not a guarantee. You can't force it. And I see a lot of guys leading with their wallet because that's what we're being indoctrinated to believe that our importance is that's it, just our wallet. But I think a lot of us have, deep down inside, we want to believe the truth, which is, if a woman loves you, it shouldn't matter how much money you have. You can build money together. You can earn money together. You can start from nothing and create an empire if your love is strong. So a woman that's dependent upon how much money you have when she enters the relationship, to me, she's already not even a candidate. No way in the world. You're on the way down. You know what I mean? You have, regardless of what we say or how we try to twist it or turn it, and ladies, you're gonna bash the crap. Not all ladies. A real woman will understand this, but I think the majority of people that are active online and willing to speak out loud, unfortunately, that's the problem. The loudest people are the ones that get heard, you know, even though if it doesn't match the sentiment of the masses. But any girl who's willing to even say that the money matters, like to say it out loud, it's okay to think it, you know what I mean? Just like it's okay for us to think like, you know, she better be willing to do some things. I don't want to say on here. We can think that, but it's probably not cool to say out loud, especially at the beginning. That's, you know, that's something you keep to yourself or keep in the bedroom, you know what I mean? But if she's willing to go public and say, he's got money or he needs to have money, even if it was talking about another guy, if it was a past situation, she's not a candidate no more. And I think that especially this goes for the guys that are coming over here to the Philippines, I would suggest if you're in any kind of long distance relationship and you've been sending money to the Philippines to your Filipina, if you want to know if it's true, regardless of what the situation is, as long as it's not nothing dire, but just the next time that it's something simple, if she asks for money, just tell her you're broke right now. Tell her you've ran across some rough times at the moment and you don't have the money. But before you tell her that, keep track of the pattern of how often she messaged you, how long she messaged you, how quick her replies was, and if there's any sway, bend, or budge after you tell her you don't have the money right now or you're broke right now, if the replies stop or slow down, or if there's any kind of, if she keeps at it like, oh please, can't you get it some kind of way, and she doesn't have any empathy for your situation, even if it's a lie, it's an honest lie to save you a whole bunch of heartache and loss of income or loss of money. And it's a hard pill to swallow that a lot of us don't like to do, you know. We don't like taking medicine anyway. That's why I'm in the shape I'm in now. But it's gonna benefit you. And you may need to do it for a period of time. If you wanna know the truth, you know, you can cry in silence, you know how we do. But if you wanna know the truth, if it's real, do that. Even if you're not sending money, claim to be broke, you know. Claim to have financial troubles in some sort of way, and see how fast the relationship slows down, or if it doesn't slow down, you got a real one. And I think that is nowadays, that's an easy determining factor if you've got a decent woman or not. Because a decent woman would already know that if she thinks that she's interested in you, a decent woman's going to be interested in you for your potential. Now she's going to see that, you know, there's some things about you that she likes. Maybe, you know, of course, looks, physical attraction is one of the number one things. But kindness, respectfulness, and a lot of them, confidence. I've heard this from a lot of women in my family and, you know, just throughout the years. And here in the Philippines, because you guys see, I don't mess with a whole lot of people. And the people I do mess with, just, you know, no reason really. It's just happened to who I hang out with is mostly Filipinas and Filipinos. And I got a few expat friends, and I talk to expats all the time, but the ones that I'm around on a regular basis are generally Filipinas and Filipinos. And fortunately, most of them speak pretty good English. But a lot of guys on accident are seen as a joke, you know, especially to the Filipinas. They laugh and joke about it, and I listen, and I'm laughing with them. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting inside information because they love to gossip. I guess everybody loves to gossip, to be honest with you. That's why the internet exists. Hey, y'all leave that dog alone, bullies. Poor dog's walking down the beach with his tail tucked, going past me. Oh, never mind. The dog stole their bone. Poison's trying to trade a stick for the bone back. It ain't gonna work, Poison. And the dog's walking off. Y'all just got robbed. Y'all got robbed by a street dog. Dang, poor puppies. That's why y'all need to stay in the yard. Get all your stuff taken out here. But I see these Filipinas and I hear these Filipinas, they'll be talking about a Filipina that's not there, who is cleaning some foreigner's clock. Just, you know, sending money for this or that, just the craziest stuff. And they're laughing about it. Like they're joking about her, like how wrong that is of her. But at the same time, you'll hear them say like, that is not right. Karma's gonna get her. And because these are good girls, but at the same time, it is funny because they don't know the guy, so they're not his friend. And they'll say, like, in the South, what we would say, bless his heart. Because, you know, this guy really probably believes that he's in some kind of real relationship, when in all reality, he is the brunt of everyone's joke. He's the clown. He's not seen as a leader or some kind of lifetime partner in any kind of way because he's leading with his wallet. And I see that so many times with expats coming over to the Philippines, at least, because it's the only place I've been. And it's true back in the West, too. I had friends that I've worked with over the years. Same situation, man. It's all, you know, don't look at me, look at my money. And then they're surprised whenever they get a girl who really doesn't love them. And there's no companionship whatsoever. You know, if the girl's not happy just going out here and putting some shrimp on a hook and going fishing, if she can't spend the day with you doing that, if that's what you're into, dude, there's one that will. You know, don't waste your time. Definitely don't waste your money. But some of this information, you know, I don't know if it resonates with anybody. I hope it does. I got a few followers now, so I got a platform. They say, with great power, it comes great responsibility. You know, I got a bunch of guys who's asking me questions about relationships and stuff like that. And, you know, I've had a long marriage, so I feel like I qualify somewhat. And I've also got 2 daughters, so I naturally think, and granddaughters. So I naturally think like, man, you know, my daughters or my granddaughters may see this one day. So I want to be respectful. And I want them to understand, too, that, you know, if they're looking for a man for money, they haven't seen the right man yet. Because that's not what, you know, that's not the only thing. You can build money. You can build wealth. And that's what young ladies should be looking at, is potential. That's what they should be shopping for, is potential, future potential. Because any woman this is my belief. I believe that any woman that wholeheartedly loves a man can make him exceed his own expectations from that love. If you believe in him when he don't believe in himself, it gives men a strength that is almost out of this world. It can make men move mountains, you know, literally create nations. But it seems so far and few between now. And we get all of the negative side of stuff on social media, through movies. It's some real indoctrination going on. And it's obvious to anybody now. I think the whole world's waking up to the reality. Like, most of the stuff that we've learned is a lie. Most of history is probably a lie. At this point, I don't know what the truth is, and almost to the point where I don't even care. Like, I don't even want to know. Well, I mean, I do want to know. Everybody wants to know. Curiosity killed the cat, you know? But at the same time, when it comes to relationships, man, if you respect yourself, you're going to attract somebody that also will give you respect. And that's where the fulfillment in life comes in. To me. When I came to the Philippines, I had no intentions of meeting in April, and I'm grateful that I did. But even now that I've met April, and I do know that, you know, she's never, even to this day, has never even once asked for money. And some of it's pretty cute because she's such a decent human being to where when she would get her paycheck, like, she took pride on getting me something. Even if it was something small, like she took me to and it was cute, and I let her do it too. But she took me to get chicken at the North Point. I forgot the name of the dang place. I had a video, a really good chicken inasal, where they give you the chicken, rice, and the synagogue soup. It's like a sour Philippine soup. Very good, surprisingly. But man, it's super sour. But she was so happy to do that, like to take me out to eat. And I took it for granted at the time. I mean, I didn't take it for granted. It was very sweet. I appreciated the crap out of it, still do. But now, in hindsight, I'm sitting here thinking, like, you know, that's missing in the West. Maybe not everywhere, but you don't see that a whole lot being promoted. Because as I said earlier, the loudest ones online are usually the bad actors. They're the ones, you know, telling men, stay away from us, don't talk to us in public. And now it's risky because the laws are also, you know, making it hard for men. I mean, it's, you know, I don't like to get political. If you guys know me, if you've watched the channel before this video, I think all sides are corrupt. I don't believe anything they say. And I've never seen them say something that actually came true. It may be partial, but never fully. They've been singing the same, the end is coming in one way or another since I've been born, you know. There was a hole in the ozone layer whenever I was in like middle school. We were all gonna die. The oxygen was gonna just float off into space. Acid rain. You know, it's been going on since forever, as far as I know. And they keep us on our heels. It's always the end. It's always turmoil, and we're always in trouble. And that's always bullcrap, in my opinion. To the point enough to where I don't care. I don't care. If they tell me that, you know, this asteroid is gonna hit the Earth, okay, cool. We're out of here then. You know? So, ain't much I can do it. I can't catch it like a football and throw it back where it came from. But when it comes to, damn man, I'm sorry, I'm so scattered, y'all. I'm always scattered, but I'm sick, so I'm even more scattered. But the main point I want to get across, man, is that if you want to find happiness as a man, you got to be happy in your own shoes by yourself. Like right here, what I'm doing with a couple, get you a dog. You want some true loyalty? Get you a dog, you know what I mean? They don't care. They don't care what you did yesterday. Even if you forgot to feed them, they'll still come up wagging their tail. Just don't forget to feed them. But we have to learn as men to stand on our own 2 feet and not depend on the love of a woman. And that's when you'll find it. When you're not looking for it and maybe even not wanting it, that's when it comes to you. And I see a lot of guys, I don't watch a lot of, before I came here, I watched a lot of YouTube vloggers, like travel vloggers and stuff, but not just about the Philippines. I watched a lot of vloggers that traveled the world. And initially, Mexico was going to be my spot. So I watched a lot of vloggers that was down in Mexico because I love Mexican food and Mexican culture, the people. Beautiful, gorgeous women. Some of the most beautiful women in the world. Well, that whole area, honestly, there's beautiful women everywhere in the world. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it seems to be an abundance of beautiful Hispanic women from not just Mexico, from all over. Maybe that's just my thing. Dark eyes, dark hair, that olive skin. That's, you know, I like that. Excuse me. But we can't lead with our wallets. If you feel like, whether you realize it or not, if you're bragging, if you see a bunch of beautiful women and your instinct is to say, I have money, I'm learning now that what women here, especially here in the Philippines, I can't speak for the women in the States because that probably makes their ears perk up. And here in the Philippines, it makes the wrong ears perk up. The good girls immediately see you as a clown. Immediately. The ones that are willing to be loyal, that would be willing to be your girlfriend even if you did not have money, they see that as almost as a weakness. To them, honestly, if you're making $1,000 USD a month, or say the equivalent, if you're making the equivalent to 80,000 Filipino pesos, no matter what your country's currency is, you're richer than 95% of the entire country. So they see all of us as being somewhat rich, but the ones that they see bragging about how much money they have, you didn't have to do that for them to think that you were rich. They think that you're missing some things, or else you wouldn't need to brag about your money, because you already know that they don't have any. So a lot of the good ones will take it as an insult and see you as like a weaker, lesser man, because they see it like, hey, why would he put us down or our men down? And unfortunately, from what I understand from hanging out with the Filipinos, it seems that a lot of Western men do that exact thing. And then they start talking about how awful the Philippines are. And I've seen the same thing in Thailand, across Asia. I hadn't really heard much about Vietnam. Vietnam seems like the spot, actually. But less English, that's the only downside. I don't know what they was just chasing, but they were flying. But just know that how you were seen. And I'm not trying to upset nobody, and I definitely don't have all the answers, but just know that at least here in the Philippines, it's the opposite of Western countries. If you lead with your wallet, or if you think they even know what name brand stuff, like if you wear a Rolex watch, they wouldn't know the difference if you had bought it at one of the sorry stores before they seen you or not. It's irrelevant. If you tell them, hey, I have a Rolex and this is an expensive watch, the girls that you would want to date, you just ran off because you just showed them how weak of an individual you are. And the girls that you don't want the attention from, you've just made their ears perk up and they're coming to talk to you. I hope some of this makes some kind of sense, and hopefully it resonates with some people, but let me know in the comments below, and hopefully you guys will take heed to what I'm saying as far as like test the girl. If you're in a long distance relationship, or even if you're here in the Philippines and you've met a girl on Tinder and you've went on a date or two, keep track of the patterns of how often she message you and do it as a test. And it's a safety test, and you can tell her afterwards, like, hey, I know you a real one because you didn't shy away from me whenever I said I was having some financial troubles. Because over here, financial troubles is a daily experience. No one's gonna look down on you for that. That's a westernized thing. That's an opinion of Western women. Not all Western women, but we can't allow the opinion of a bunch of bad women from the West to dictate what we want our future relationships to look like. That's what the point of this message that I'm trying to convey anyway. One day I'll get this stuff down pat and I'll speak in some kind of systematic order, but until then, probably not going to. Oh, one of the things I meant to say after I'd got that comment about somebody snatching up, hang on to April tight, or somebody else snatch her up. Dude, if somebody snatches up your girl, she was never your girl. It was just your turn. Simple as that. And if you worry about that, you need to go ahead and let her go now, because all that guy has done, if somebody does take your girl, is a favor. Just saying. So for now, I'm out.